I have two mysteries for you to think about this week, and they're all interconnected. Can anyone name an industry that has been going for almost 450 years and has brought trillions of pounds into the UK? The next mystery is, what does this have to do with this? And what does this have to do with this? And of course, what does this have to do with the other 2 points? And what does he have to do with it all? It all seems like a bit of a mystery, but then you just need the extra clue, which is this. That's right, I'm sure you're going to be shocked at this. It's all to do with Brexit. This yellow bird is known as a yellow hammer, and this represents an operation called Operation Yellowhammer, which clearly stated there could be shortages as a result of a hard Brexit. And of course, some of the other things that it predicted have come true in this softy medium hard Brexit we're experiencing. And of course, we then have this Burke, who then goes on, also now known as Begbie to me. Begbie then goes on in 2019 to say in a prediction that this wasn't going to affect us.
Has put out what it describes as its reasonable worst case assumptions. Food's running out, medicine's running out, chaos for British people living on the continent. Why on earth would anybody vote for that?
I've never seen such utter tosh in my entire life. Unlike these civil servants sitting in Whitehall, I spent 20 years in international trade, buying and selling goods and shipping them all over the world. And the idea, given there are over 100 ports, active ports, in the United Kingdom, that even if there was a problem at Dover, there'd be food shortages, is complete and utter rubbish. It's Project Fear, Mark II. It should be utterly, completely, totally disregarded.
And this is why businessmen should never be put in charge of a country, because they haven't got a Scooby-Doo. So how does this and this connect together? Liz Truss put up a picture talking about British farmers being able to sell to Mexico British pork, except she used a picture of beef from a German website and German beef. So how does this picture connect up? Well, it says Fatima's next job could be in cyber. Well, that's not her name. Her name is Desiree. And not only that, she's American. And not only that, the government at the time were trying to insinuate that this ballet work isn't a real job. Well, amazingly, Operation Yellowhammer and Brexit have all come together to show a complete and utter flip around in what is required within the UK. The government attitude towards the arts is just shocking. They make it sound as if it's not a real job and that people aren't really adding value to the country. Yet some of our greatest moments have come through art. We could even go so far to include sport, and it makes you wonder, do they even consider that to be a real form of work? Do they look at someone like Sir Alex Ferguson and think, oh, he's just doing it for a bit of a laugh? And they don't get the reality of the hard work, the sweat, the blood, the tears that have gone into setting up a team to win. This is the UK visas and immigration page on gov.uk. I'll put a link in the description. Guidance, skilled workers visa, shortage occupations. And we go down and we can see this problem in health services. We need chemical scientists, biological scientists, physical scientists, geoscientists, geologists, social and humanities scientists, civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, electronics engineers, design and development engineers, production and process engineers, IT analysts, architects, system designers, programmers, software development, web design and development professionals, IT, vets, actuaries, economists, statisticians, architects, quality control planning engineers, laboratory technicians, artists, and look at 3414. Dancers and choreographers, only skilled classical ballet dancers or skilled contemporary dancers who meet the standard required by internationally recognised UK ballet or contemporary dance companies. What a mess up. That ad was so wrong on so many levels. It's stereotyped. They haven't learned anything from that. But not only that, The thing that they're saying that Desiree couldn't do, they are now begging for in a Brexit world. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? What a mess up. And you've got Nigel Farage saying we aren't going to have any shortages. You've got no one bringing this to government at the moment. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone bring this up. But I couldn't believe my eyes when I was looking at the shortages and remembered Desiree's story. They have learnt nothing, ladies and gentlemen. We are literally dealing with incompetence, with idiots, with ignorance and insanity. Now then, you might go on and ask, well, what does this have to do with the other thing that you were talking about? Good question. I'm going to show you now. So I said earlier, what industry has been going on for over 450 years and has brought in probably trillions into the UK economy? That's right, the Bard, Shakespeare. 450 years. This man worked in the arts sector and has probably brought more money than anything else in this country. I can't imagine anyone being able to compete with him with the number of books, the number of plays, the amount of tourism that this man has brought in. Poetry as well, of course. I don't know of an industry that can compare with that. There are a couple of other industries that have been around a little bit longer. The mint is one. But this man clearly brings in more money than any other industry or company that has ever existed. And yet the government doesn't have the brains to realise that actually maybe investing in the arts could be a long-term solution to the UK economy. Again, if you go on to the Gov website, and I'll put a link in the description, and you go to Stratford-upon-Avon, you go a little bit down, have a read of this. The Heritage Lottery Fund estimates that tourism in the UK is now worth 26.4 billion to the UK economy. In 2011, it was estimated that 4.9 million people a year visit Stratford-on-Avon district, adding around 333 million per year into the local economy. Locally, around 8,000 jobs are dependent on the Shakespeare factor. This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, when I've been banging on about why the government doesn't have an ounce of creativity when it comes to the economy. They are not business people. They are politicians that have never probably done a hard day's work in their life. At least the ones I've seen in the cabinet. They all just seem like a group of people totally out of their depth and cannot see the woods for the trees. Let's explore our art. Something not limited to moving destination by plane or by boat, but carried through TV, radio, paper, computer. At a later date, I'll be writing up a manifesto of what this country could do, what it should be doing, and how you really can grow the economy. And one of them would be to set up art districts in major city centres and encourage artists to move to those city centres. And if we can start to develop people like Shakespeare, or if you look at Hackney Wick, which seems to, or East London in general, which seems to have produced an extraordinary amount of artwork and artists in the last couple of decades. You can see, and part of that being down to the fact that the area was pretty much uninhabited and rent was dirt cheap because people lived in the warehouses. Now, I'm not purporting the idea that we do something like that, but we could create districts with low rent and art spaces to work in for those people and create an economy based around culture and the arts. I've heard nothing from the government about stuff like this. They're not that smart. And as you can see from what I've shown you in the video today, they really do lack some basic intelligence or an ability to learn from fundamental mistakes that they've made. I hope you enjoyed my political observations this week. If you'd like to support me, please share the video with others and post about it on social media. If you're keen for more, subscribe, comment, like, and hit that notification button. Thanks for listening, and see you next time on Political X.